Oh my God. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. To this day, Tyson Fury looking at paying legal fees and damages, possibly if things don't go his way in the arbitration with Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We gonna talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Before I get started, make sure you guys click on my link and get TUBEBUDDY. TUBEBUDDY is a great resource and browser extension to help you with your YouTube channel. I've been using TUBEBUDDY myself for years. Started off with 0 subscribers. We're over 200,000 subscribers. It takes hard work, but this is definitely one of the tools that I used for my uploads, such as this. Consider TUBEBUDDY, link in the description. We working. Now, Bob Arum, who promotes Tyson Fury, did an interview with Barbershop Conversations, and he says basically he wasn't at liberty to go into details on the case, but he confirmed that Tyson Fury and his camp are in arbitration with Deontay Wilder and his people. And there were some very interesting things that were said, and I want to encapsulate that and give my thoughts. Bob Arum says, quote, "That is in arbitration and the arbitrator will decide." So that was in response to what is happening with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Arum says again, that is in arbitration and the arbitrator will decide, right? Then he was asked, what are the options for Joshua Fury? Bob Arum says, quote, "No, really and truly, nobody anticipates that there will be an injunction. At worst, there might be a claim for damages. I think it was scheduled that we'd finally get a determination sometime in May. I can't go into that," end quote. Wow. It was all good just a week ago, in the words of Jay-Z featuring Too Short. Now, more bad news for Tyson Fury and his team and his camp. This looks horrendous for a few reasons. Let me break that down for you. Please smash the like button if you like what I'm doing. I am a one-man army, Boxingego. This is the future of boxing. So make sure you guys click the link. If you don't want to miss anything, hit the bell icon. And I'm going to tell you why I feel the whole Tyson Fury situation has gone from sugar to ish. So for starters, Bob Arum is now saying and confirming what I've been telling you. So the great Ego Stradamus has struck yet again. And he's reminding you that they are in an injunction, which I got multiple things to say. He says nobody anticipates that there will be an injunction, right? At worst, he can file for damages, meaning Tyson Fury could have to pay and be liable for failure to fight Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, just in case I ain't passed the ball, but I know a little bit enough that you want to legally search my injunction. Noun. I want to give you guys an actual definition. Noun, a judicial process or ordering requiring the person or persons to whom it is directed to do a particular act or to refrain from doing a particular act. A command order, right? So basically, he's saying nobody's anticipating, but that doesn't mean that this couldn't be the outcome. You know, they don't have a verdict from the arbitrating judge. He says nobody anticipates that. But how do you know what is anticipated if you don't know the actual outcome pending what the judge has to say, the arbitrator? So that's for starters. But even if he has to pay damages, then that means, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but that means Tyson Fury and his estate, his brand or whatever you want to call it, has to come out money. But you mean to tell me Deontay Wilder wants to fight Tyson Fury so bad that Fury, if he fails to comply and do this, then he could be looking at a lawsuit and or having to come out of pocket to pay Deontay Wilder. But wait, this doesn't make sense, because last year Tyson Fury did an interview with The Athletic, and he told the whole world and anybody who read that article that Deontay Wilder was ducking him because he knows how the third fight would end up. So this is not making sense to me. How could you be ducking a man that you're pursuing through legal recourse and legal action if you didn't really want to fight them? Second, as I just mentioned, Tyson Fury is willing to potentially have to get sued if he breaks, the arbitrating demands and orders, and or have to pay money out of his own pocket to appease Wilder to go forth with other fights like Joshua or a tune-up fight, versus if he fought Deontay Wilder, then he wouldn't have to pay anybody money. He would be earning a paycheck. So just right there, it's looking shaky for Tyson Fury, because you're going from subtracting money from your account or you're going from the possibility of adding money to your account to subtracting. So the other thing that's ironic and hilarious, I mean, this is it's almost like amateur night at the Apollo, open mic night. Bob Arum says, at worst, there might be a claim for damages. That's a direct quote from this interview. But a couple months ago, Bob Arum did an interview, and he is quoted saying that he is not worried. Wilder's contract had run out, the rematch clause had expired, and Deontay Wilder and his team have no legal recourse. So let's unpack this and expound upon this. Bob Arum a couple months ago in 2020, at the end of 2020, said Wilder had no legal recourse. So let's get this straight. No legal recourse is what Bob Arum says, yet you're in an arbitration and a mediation process with a judge, and now you're saying Tyson Fury could be liable for damages and have to pay out sums of money to Deontay Wilder. But you told us a couple of months ago that there was no legal recourse for Wilder's team. So I'm highly confused with these varying statements. The other issue, it's looking extremely bad for the Tyson Fury apologist. He should have just fought Wilder. We all know the pandemic was the reason for the date switches and stuff like that, but this sounds like way more headache than just fighting Wilder, getting a bag, settling that trilogy. If you can beat him, you beat him fair and square because people think you cheated, etc., and just moving on with your career. But no, leave it to Tyson Fury to fumble the bag. But here's the other thing. On top of Bob Arum saying there was no legal recourse, and now Tyson Fury is being held up till approximately May in a legal proceeding, an arbitration and mediation process. So despite that, you have Tyson Fury, who he's stated that he's no longer training anymore because he wants to take a break. Whether he's being facetious or he's being true, either way, that remains to be seen. Tyson Fury said he wanted to fight in December because he didn't want to be inactive for so long. So if you weren't being held up by this arbitration process, then you could have already fought Wilder by now. It looks like things are slowly opening up. Devin Haney's about to fight in Las Vegas with the 50% crowd. So if Tyson Fury didn't jump the gun and, motion to try to ditch Wilder, then he wouldn't be in the legal proceeding right now. So that was a foolish move from Tyson Fury to get so impatient and grow so impatient that you try to snake Wilder and you try to snake PBC and you try to snake Fox and move on without him when you owe him a fight. Furthermore, the last thing is this. Let Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's trainer, or not trainer, but promoter, let him tell it. They're saying they're finalizing a deal for Joshua versus Fury, but Fury's own dad says he doubts the fight will happen in this climate with the pandemic, and his son needs to fight 2 times against anybody. He doesn't care who it is, yada, yada, yada. So he sounds doubtful. Usyk's trainer sounds doubtful. Eddie Hearn is telling people, anyone who would listen, that Joshua Fury is a signed, sealed fight, and they're targeting June or July, but it's about to be April, and there has been no confirmation of who's paying for it, where's the venue, no information, no press conference. And again, it's about to be April. So they're saying it's the biggest fight in British history. You really want to give it, if you're doing it in June, so you're going to give it like a month or two in terms of promotion, and you haven't even announced it? You know, it just sounds horrible. But beyond that, it's not even a true month or two, because Bob Arum out his own mouth. See, this is the thing. Tyson Fury's team talks too much, so they're starting to get crossed up in their words. Bob Arum in this interview says that the arbitrating judge who's proceeding over the Wilder Fury case, they don't have a verdict and won't have, you know, a final solution until May. So once again, bad news for Tyson Fury. How is Joshua and Fury, if Bob Arum is saying, because Eddie Hearn doesn't have anything to do with this case, so I don't know how many details that he would even know if he's not even a party to the Fury and Wilder litigation and arbitration mediation process. So how is Eddie Hearn running around and saying Joshua Fury, they're signed contracts, and Bob Arum is telling the world that there won't be a verdict in the Wilder versus Fury case, the mediation process, arbitration process, until May? So again, how are you going to fight a whole separate fight in June or July, and you don't even have the investors? You're running out of time. You haven't announced the fight. You know, you're just, the closer you get to the date, the closer, you know, the least amount of time, or the less amount of time you have to promote it. It just looks real sloppy, people. It looks extremely sloppy. Tyson Fury has unfinished business with Deontay Wilder, period. He should have just fought him. You know, it seems like this would have been the smartest move, because now he's tied up in court, according to his own promoter, Bob Arum, until May. And Eddie Hearn's trying to double book a Joshua Fury fight and appease fans and, you know, keep hope alive and keep the fans anticipating a Joshua Fury fight. And we don't even know what the heck is going on with this case, with this Wilder case. So it sounds pretty stupid if you ask me. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Multiple loopholes, multiple just discrepancies with what's being said and what Eddie Hearn and, you know, the reality. So Tyson Fury's advisor is on the run, Daniel Kinahan. They came out with this panorama thing. BT Sports and Sky Sports are trying to abstain or distance themselves from MTK fights. They're trying to put this fight in another country like Saudi Arabia or wherever. And then on top of that, to boot, you have Tyson Fury in an arbitration case that Bob Arum is saying will last until May, until they get a verdict. And you want me to believe that Joshua Fury will be done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Tyson Fury could owe money, according to Bob Arum. And you want me to believe that it's going to happen in June and July? Good luck with that. We'll see if Ego Stradamus strikes again. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I promise you we working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.